Okay, unfortunately, Karen has chosen to see Joel's smile as a sign of aggression. Hackles down, Karen. Karen, hackles down. Someone get the hose.
Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about an absolute gem of a movie, Zootopia 2. Not gonna lie, this is probably one of the best animated movies I've seen this year, so if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before we get started. We see at the beginning of this movie, they're engaged in a high-speed chase with this criminal, and Judy is a little bit always still trying to prove herself, always trying to tackle the next big case, but they accidentally cause major chaos in the city, so they're under major scrutiny and under major fire. So their boss gives them one last case to change their luck around, because they're chasing this snake, right? Zootopia has never had a snake before in a long time. I shouldn't say before. They've obviously had a snake sighting before, but we learned that due to power, greed, and corruption, right? The weather machine. Yes, Zootopia has a weather machine that allows all the animals to coexist together and cohabit the land together and stuff like that as well. And so it forced a lot of the sea animals and the animals that couldn't survive on land to flee and go somewhere else and create their own habitat. But greed and power and corruption is also now closing in on where they live. And this is one of the really great points in Disney where they did a great job telling such a great story for a follow-up to such a beloved, iconic original movie. And like I said at the beginning, the sequel did such a great job of just continuing the flow from the beginning of the first movie. And we know we have to have a conflict somewhere in the movie. And this is where kind of the therapy aspect of the movie comes into it there, and kind of where Nick and Judy have to go to therapy to fix their problems, because they are growing a little bit disconnect. You know, Nick thinks not every problem needs to be solved and that sometimes it's okay to give up. And to Judy, giving up is just simply not an option. And we see that a lot throughout the film, and that causes a big disconnect with them at some point where Judy is like, I don't want to work with you anymore if that's how you actually want to think and feel. And Nick has to grow a lot. And so does Judy as well. While going through therapy and trying to fix themselves and fix their problems, they also have to grapple with the facts that Gary the Snake just exposed a very big problem in Zootopia, which is corruption. And it also kind of really takes away from the perfect image of the city, really, where it's this place where anything is possible, it's perfect, nothing is wrong. But in reality, it's been oppressing its own people, its own different kind of animals for years because, like I said, of greed and power. And that's something where Judy and Nick have to grapple with, of whether or not they're going to keep going with the status quo or whether or not they're going to follow Gary the Snake and help him enact the change that he wants to make. And we see them choose the right side, which is the right side of choosing to help Gary the Snake make the difference, make his family be able to live amongst the other animals and share the land. Nobody has to be separated from each other. Nobody has to lose what they already have. Why not give them back what we took from them? And I think overall, Disney did such a really great job telling such a great story that also maybe kind of touches on reality a little bit. Not gonna say what kind of reality, but I really think the story kind of touches on a lot of things that we're seeing in the world with greed, corruption, and the power struggles, and sometimes the oppressed. And really great overall. I'll give this movie a 8.5 out of 10. There are some things in there that are a little bit adult humor coded, and where I would say kids wouldn't understand the jokes overall, but if you're an adult, you'll be like, okay, this is kind of funny. So I think Disney does a great job connecting the adults with the kids. And overall, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.